An underground kingdom, or rather another complete world beneath the earth, over which reigns the king of the world. An anti-hell where an anti-Satan makes his subjects perfectly happy and enjoying a long-lasting due to virile energy. Let's see the matter a little closer. The name Agartha appeared in 1873 under the pen of French novelist L. Jacques. Not yet underground, the first Agartha was described as the ancient solar city of the high priest of the Brahmins. Changed into Agartha, it will become an underground kingdom with a large university, near Ayodhya in India, then transferred under Himalayas in 1800 BC. His king kept a secret that could make powerful weapons with which the Antichrist will destroy evil and establish peace. Jacques acknowledged having made the word from the Asgard, the paradise of the Nordic tradition. Perhaps did he also draw his inspiration from the kingdom of Shambhala, but the Buddhist Shambhala is not underground. Soon, the occultists and the raiders gave substance to this literary UFO. How could an idea out of a novel become the source of a quest? The support of philosopher René Guénon with his essay The King of the World has validated the whole thing. A king of the world. That really evokes another underground empire, the infernal Homes del Inferno, the hell on which reigns Satan, the prince of matter. Once again, we are dealing with two myths that probably are only one. Who is Satan? Originally, it was the king of the world, precisely. In Sumerian Genesis, it was Enlil, the brother of the creator god Enki, who was the Saddam, meaning the administrator of the earth. He reigned over the surface, while his brother Enki ruled the Abzu, the inner earth. During their captivity in Babylon, the Hebrews heard of this ancient legend. It was well known, as Assurbanipal had engraved it on the tablets of the first known encyclopedia. The Bible writers have retained only fragments, that they absurdly mixed together. The Saddam, king of the world, became Satan, prince of matter, and took up residence in the Abzu, which was the preserve of his father. We find this tradition, less damaged, in the Greek mythology, when Zeus dethroned his father Cronus, the latter found refuge in the depths of the earth, where had also hidden the Titans and Hecatoncheires. Here the original myth is safe. What happens to Kronos and the first Titans retraces part of our history. Because yes, we spent an eternity in the depths of the earth. The time that a nuclear winter gives way to a new spring. That winter lasted 100,000 years. But we remember especially the Bible and its phony version. In South Park, the truth has been brilliantly restored. It's about time. Let's see how the Sumerian myth of Abzu became, through fiction, an esoteric reality for many truth seekers. The only thing that remains unchanged is the evil, instrument of evil spirits. Agartha, this underworld made fashionable by a novel, finds a new luster in the Annie's Falls between the two world wars. In 1920, an eccentric Russian named Ferdinand Ossendowski met two strange characters in Mongolia, two Tibetans from Lhasa, the Prince Choltown Bela and his favorite monk, Gailong Lama. They described to him the mysterious underground kingdom of Agartha. In the world, everything is constantly in a state of transition and change, people, religions, laws, and customs. How many great empires and brilliant cultures have perished? More than 6,000 years ago a holy man disappeared with a whole tribe in the depths of the earth. Since then he has never reappeared on the surface of the world, but several people were able to visit his kingdom, Sakya Muni, Undergegan, Pasba, Baber and many others. No one really knows where it is. One says in Afghanistan, others in India. In this region, all people are protected against evil. The crime does not exist within its borders. Science developed in peace, nothing is threatened with destruction. The subterranean people have reached the highest degree of knowledge. Now it is a kingdom that has millions of subjects on which reigns the king of the world. The latter knows all the forces of nature, reads in all souls and in the great book of fate. Invisible, he rules 800 million men, ready to execute his orders. Ossendowski was barely recovering from this revelation, when the old prince spoke. This kingdom is Agartha. It spreads through underground passages around the world. I heard a Chinese Lama scholar say to Bagud Khan that all the subterranean caves of America are inhabited by the ancient people who once disappeared underground. Traces of his existence still remain on the surface of the country. All the inhabitants of this underworld are ruled by leaders who recognize the sovereignty of the king of the world. None of this is inexplicable. You know that in the midst of the two greatest oceans of the East and West were formerly two continents. They were buried under the waters, but their people went into the underground kingdom. The deep caves where they live are illuminated by a particular light that allows plant growth and protects from disease. This light is produced by the famous virile energy, this special electricity with amazing powers, and no less amazing vital benefits. What is it exactly? Strictly speaking, the virile is the geo-energy emitted by the rotation of our planet. Well known to the ancient gods and developed peoples before the flood, virile energy is free, renewable, clean, and inexhaustible. It is relating to electricity, cosmotelluricism, electronics, magnetism, mesmerism and spiritualism all together. How shocking for a Cartesian mind! When the Earth's axis had been straightened by the Atlantean gravitology, the virile energy became superabundant, and men's divine powers were tenfold. In the same way that ball lightning seems to react to the human psyche, virile energy seems to obey him. When the individual has received special training, he can trigger an electromagnetic wave. His triple body, physical body and subtle body and body of light, assembles the diffuse energy using a catalyst, a small golden object. This virile catalyst allowed either to treat or harm, to balance the subtle energies of the being on whom it is directed, or to grill him like a steak. It is both a weapon and a magic wand, a ray launcher that awakens the latent powers, but can also make you insane, amnesic, or burned alive. This magical object has many names. In Egypt, it was called Ankh or Cross of Life, the Greeks spoke of the thunderbolt of Zeus, the Ramas of Indra's Vajra, and the Olmecs of the Xicoatl. It is interesting to note that our use of electricity is very simplistic compared to what it was in ancient times. The eye of man has changed. He worships the reason which has stolen his omnipotence, he misunderstands nature and the powers it offers, he refuses the abundant energy that gives virile or lightning to use energies polluting, perishable and lethal. If a director of the earth exists, whether divine or devilish, he seems to have lost his touch. Or is he enjoying seeing us suffocating with our own stupidity? But then all these stories about the devil would have an element of truth? Probably. But if there is in there just a kernel of truth, this is because the rest is filled with errors. Everyone is free to believe or not to the Prince of Darkness or to King of the World, lurking beneath our feet, down at the end of Boulevard of Sewers. But we would do well to believe without believing. And we'd better not believe it at all. Our thoughts create the world to come. Let's have therefore delicious thoughts.